Hello guys, how you guys doing? This is good old Grandmaster Oven here, and it's 2020 already, folks. 2020. It's Happy New Year's, and for me, it's happy birthday for me. I just turned 44 today, and it is a new year, and I bet we all have that New Year's resolution this time of year. What is your New Year's resolution, folks? Mine is to live a good year. Um, Live a good year. Watch my diet. Eat healthy. Stay healthy. Make sure that you all live happily, live prosperly. Um, it is 2020, first year of the new year, the new decade. We are in our third decade. Wait, is that right? Yeah, third decade. We're sort of a new decade until 2030, and it is now we're in a new decade, we're entering our third decade of this 21st century, and now what is 2020? What are we expecting in 2020? And that's a good question. What do we expect ourselves and the world in 2020? I would say same bullshit, different year, new year. We're going to be dealing with the same assholes that we have been for the last couple of years. Same old people, same old arguments, and just hope that 2020 would be better, good for everybody. Because I know that even though this is a new year and a new decade, I would like to see at least some common sense and easier ways to deal with problems without violence. I think that if we all solve our problems through a good conversation, I did a video late last, well, a couple months ago or so about how to have an easier way to communicate with one another. And that is, put politics on the back burner. Happy birthday, old fart. I looked at your son. Put politics on the back burner and talk about something else. Like, we could discuss on different things. What's our favorite TV show? What's our favorite movie? Anything but politics. Politics is all we ever talk about. Is politics. I like to talk about cars, games. Something out like I like food. I love food. Um, anything, space, the next frontier. um, Hope 2020 we could do that. You know, we don't need to be doing that all the time. I mean, we talk about sports, like NASCAR, football, or this coming February, spring training's coming, baseball. The Final Four, March Madness coming, NBA Finals, hockey season is ending in June, May or June, because of the Stanley Cup, and I just think that politics is really making people just, I don't know, I just want to see at least a good civil dialogue with everybody. And if we could do that, that would be really nice and interesting. And maybe we could finally end this argument. I mean, yeah, you have a right to a view. It's your right as a human being. I think that if we all can sit down on a level field where common sense can come in, and no fist throwing, no violence.
Knowledge is free. We are anonymous. We are legion. We do not forgive. We do not forget. Expect us.
I just would like to at least see that happen. People are getting hurt for no damn reason. I mean, just because you have a different point of view, don't mean you have to attack somebody or punch somebody. Just the idea. Just the idea. It's just that. Let me see here. Just look, colleges. Hey, you want to go to college? Have a share of an idea. Nice. I've always felt that common sense has always been always that thing. Common sense. Think before you act. That's how I grew up. Think before you act. Sometimes we act before we think. You gotta think before you act. You gotta have common sense. I think that if we all could do that, even at the college level, because you got these college kids trying to prove that the information they got is accurate, because they got it from a third-party person who, without fact-checking this information, they got it from a third party. Sometimes the ones who's delivering that information doesn't have all the information. And they would take the information from a third party and run with it as factual information. Before you get anything from a third party or a fourth party, make sure the information is fact-checked and corroborated. Like, make sure it's accurate information. Make sure it's fact-checked information. Because if you don't, you're taking it by a third party that might not have all the information. So, to have a conversation and share this information in a conversation, make sure you have all your eggs in one basket of facts. Because if you don't, one of those eggs would have misinformation. Or even if some of those eggs have some misinformation. And more likely, you got these college kids. Just they're reading comments, only comments from a like they're reading from Snopes and other like Vox and Vice and Vox and Snopes and CNN. Not all of them have factual information. Okay? To really get, check out NewsGuard, which is like it's like a filter for the news. It's like a news filter. And also, you want to go outside the United States to get your news. Because sometimes you're not going to get your information from here in the United States. Sometimes there are even outlets outside the U.S. that have fact-checked information. CNN don't got it. Fox, MSNBC, ABC, CBS, you name it, don't have fact information. If you go to the alternative independent media that can produce, but sometimes you have the alternative media like Snopes, the Young Turks. There's the other ones. Sometimes Alex Jones don't have all the information. He may have a fan base, but it's all. Yeah, the guy is making some money off his for selling stuff on his website. I haven't watched Alex Jones InfoWars in like a couple of years, so yeah, I was one of those people that were hardcore fans of his, like whatever. But he started to Alex Jones started to get into that. He's becoming the Young Turks. And he's lost a lot of subscribers, a lot of viewers because, of the Sandy Hook. But the Sandy Hook is a very controversial, very touchy subject. And it still bears scars on our psyche. 8 years after the shooting in 2012. But the Sandy Hook, even though it happened in 2012, it still comes into question. Because Adam Lanza was accused of doing the shooting. And I came across a good question here. If the question was, if Adam Lanza did pull the trigger, and a big if, that's a big if, how come him and his mom died 2 days, okay, 2 days before the alleged shooting? That's my question, okay? We also got the Stoneman Douglas High School shooting. That's a lot of questions there. And one of my questions is about the brother of the alleged shooter. The FBI arrested the brother, and they said they arrested him. He had a weapon on him. And my question was at the time is, did he have the gun on him already, or did the FBI plant it on him so they could arrest him? And because of that, one of the videos that I did, that I uploaded, was removed, and I had a strike. And I was like, just because of that, I got a strike, a community guideline strike, and I couldn't stream for 3 months. So July 3rd, I got hit with a second community guideline strike. And now there was a church shooting that happened last week, or this week, and the shooter got the shooter ended up getting killed himself. The people that were there, they took his ass down, and this is why Democrats are so wanting to abolish the Second Amendment, because they don't want you to defend yourself and people around you, and the ones that protecting your fellow citizen, your fellow neighbor, because some dumb shit wants to ship a church, a school, a movie theater, whatever the matter may be. Years ago, there was a shooting at a McDonald's, where 32 people died, including four children outside the restaurant. The shooter himself was killed by SWAT, and they ended up tearing down that particular McDonald's to build a memorial with the name of victims on the memorial. See, the term memorial, like a statue of people that fought and died in, say, a war, and there's a memorial dedicated to the soldiers that died during the Civil War, World War I, World War II, and there's a remembrance of a battle, say like during the Civil War. There was a monument built in remembrance of a battle that was so insane. They did this battle in the area. And they took those down because these soft motherfuckers wanted these monuments down because it was racist. I got pissed off because these were reminders of what our country went through. You can say whatever you want about them, but these are reminders of what we went through when we became a nation and we had our very first civil war ever. And there are monuments erected right between the end of the Civil War and also into the 1930s. Reminders and remembrance of people that were in these battles. Okay, there's ships we have named after military personnel, people, generals, certain battles, like the USS Saratoga or the USS Athens and shit. There was Battle of Athens in 1940, between 46 and 48. I won those 2 years. If you go back and the Battle of Athens in Georgia in late 40s, because after the war between 48 and 46, there was some event that happened, and the people rose up, and it proved that the Second Amendment wasn't just about self-defense, but it was also about taking on tyranny. Battle of Athens would prove that we the people rise up against tyranny and even enemies, foreign and domestic. And I hope that we can learn. Okay? We can learn. If not as monuments, how about through books? Understand, look. I understand, look. Civics hasn't been taught in decades. Okay? Civics. Okay? If you put civics back into general education and in college education, maybe these kids can learn about what happened throughout the 20th century, the late 19th century. Okay. And not get so blinded and arrogant and brainwashed, because there's things they miss and they need to learn. And in actuality, we haven't really learned a goddamn thing in school, because they're not allowing anybody, even when I was in school, to learn the factual truth that they don't want in school books, because they don't want students to wake up and have a critical thinking, critical thought. George Carlin made a good point that they don't want people with critical thinking. They want obedient workers, just smart enough to do the job and just dumb enough to take the long hours, the low pay, no retirement, no benefits, no pension. Obedient workers. And it is what it is. It's like in law enforcement. They don't want anybody with brains. They want somebody just smart enough to do the job and dumb enough to take the long hours. No, I mean, basically a dumbass with badge. Smart enough to do the job, but dumb enough to go along with stupidity. Don't get me wrong, they're all good officers that see through this shit and actually do their job. And also, this is a new year, and some laws were passed here in California. Companies like Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Google. And is it good news? Yeah, some good news. But it passed, and it was enacted this year, but it won't happen until mid 2020. I'm like thinking, how come they don't do it now? Enact now where you, the individual who's on these platforms, can opt out. Now, if you ever played GTA Online and ever did the Series A heist, there's a setup where you go and you take on the ballers to take their shit. And Trevor Phillips says you see them on Snapmatic, armed and with their shit. And he says two things. Watch your privacy settings and don't geotag. Never geotag. And I understand that, you know, you have, I mean, you do what you want on your device, but you want to watch your privacy settings and don't geotag. Make sure you have the best security. Make sure you have the best search browser. Also, like search engine, like Bing or DuckDuckGo. And Firefox is doing pretty good. I'm gonna be doing a podcast between now and Friday. Probably be late in the morning or very early in the morning, and it'll be shared on all platforms: Facebook, Twitter, Minds, we Hall in this BitChute, even YouTube, and Tumblr. But these companies, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and another one, are really getting hit hard. About fucking time. To be honest, about fucking time. And make sure you watch for your privacy, protect your privacy, because you know what? They don't need to be scrounged up your bits, you know what I'm saying? So, again, hope this year would be good for everybody from now until the end of December of this year. That it becomes good for everybody, and I'm praying on that. Please enjoy this good year. This is a third decade, and I love you guys, and Happy New Year, and enjoy. Play this video, like, subscribe, hit the bell for notification, And if you've got the transmission, you are the resistance. I'm Grandmaster Evan. Knowledge is free. Knowledge is power. You ain't down with that. I got 3 words for you. Go fuck yourself. It's here. I'm Revan. You're not. Fuck you. I'm out.